Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope and pray that this video finds you well wherever you are. Today we're going to be talking about why I believe the American dream is a lie. And this video is going to be specifically for people, especially my young ladies and maybe single moms and women that are kind of dealing with some disadvantaged situations where, you are finding yourself just really struggling financially, you're struggling emotionally, you're struggling even in your walk with God right now, and everything just seems to be piling up on you at one time. So, I am in my mid 20s. I am a Gen Zer, and I have been frustrated, y'all, for the last couple of years, if I'm being honest. It comes and goes for me, but I have shared in a lot of my past videos. If you go and check out some of my other content, I am a very like career driven girly. I am a first gen college graduate at the bachelor's and master's level. And so I am pretty much the first to do everything, in my family. And, I've just been trying my best to, just navigate like life in my 20s and the ebbs and flows of things, navigating being a friend, navigating dating, navigating focusing on my career and just different things that I aspire to do and to be. And I am very like displeased with my life right now. I'm very displeased with everything. I was thinking to myself this morning, because I had just kind of broke down and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't even go to the store and pick up some of the things that I need right now, because I'm trying to, save money and stuff like that. And I said to myself, I was like, the American dream is a lie. And I am not a like pessimistic person where I'm like, folding my arms and woe is me, like I'm a big solutions oriented young lady. And so for me, you know, I have gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, God, I have exhausted every avenue that I can, and I'm still not seeing the fruit of my labor in the ways that I should by now. And I was just like, I feel like the American dream is a lie. And when I talk about the American dream, I always focus on the socioeconomic aspects of things, or you may have heard people talk about like the upward mobility. And when you're talking about upward mobility, usually that is focusing on, getting your degrees, finding a job that'll help you get out of poverty. And then you're able to then, continue to kind of climb the corporate ladder so that you're able to build wealth for yourself in whatever way that looks. And so, here I am with a bachelor's degree, with a master's degree. I have been thinking about going back to get my PhD, if I feel like it's worth getting the degree. But I'm looking around and I'm like, what in the world is going on? And, I've been seeking God as best as I can in this season because, it's hard trying to be faithful and, just really serve God and just really maintain trust in Him, and believing like, God, I know you're going to take care of me. I know you're going to provide for me. We have people that, quote scriptures all the time. And obviously it's good to quote the word. But what happens when you are actually in a dire situation and you have bills that are due literally in a few days or a few weeks, or, you have kids that you have to feed and you have so many different things that are going on. And it's like, I'm only one person, or, I do have a husband and, we have a dual income, but it's just not making the ends meet right now. Like sometimes it can be really difficult to navigate, being in situations like that. And if you're not careful, you can find yourself going into this like survival mode, this kind of fight or flight mode. And I feel like a lot of the ladies that are going to come across this video, I really believe you have lived a life where you are always kind of surviving and always kind of like trying to figure it out. And it's kind of this like fight or flight type of thing. And it's doing a lot of emotional damage on you because you don't trust people. You struggle with some insecurities, not just physically, but even just trusting in yourself and believing like, you're smart, you're talented, you're qualified, and what you have desired to pursue, whether that be going back to school or going to school, or pursuing a certificate in a specific program, or just starting your own business, like whatever that looks like. I just want to take some time to encourage you and let you know, like, you are not alone. Like, you are right where you need to be. And just as I'm encouraging you, I'm encouraging myself too. And I just have faith for the both of us that God is going to turn things around. But at the same time, I do want to acknowledge your emotions, because I understand how it feels when you feel like you've exhausted every avenue and you're doing everything that you can, and things just aren't really panning out the way you thought that they would. And so, we live in an economic time where I personally believe we're in a recession. I've been doing a little research and talking about some of the major, financial institutions that we look towards when it comes to research and, the state of the economy and stuff like that. I was looking at a couple different studies, and I'm actually going to link them in the description box if you guys want to check them out. But I was looking at some studies, and they were focusing on, economic mobility and wealth building. And what I found very startling was, throughout these different studies, the main ethnic group that has the least amount of wealth individually and collectively is Black people. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, we are literally at the bottom of the totem pole. And then before us is Hispanics. And then we go on to, the majority, and then, the Asian group. I was like, oh my gosh, like, we're dealing with obviously a lot of systemic things that have gotten us to this point of this big gap in, wealth, inequality, and just really trying to figure out, how do you climb out of this hole when it feels like a sinking sand. And, we're living in, I believe, a recession. And so, things are much higher than they normally would be. The cost of living is a lot for a lot of people right now. The markets are not, where they're supposed to be. But you guys see what's going on. Most of us out here are literally struggling, trying to figure out how we gonna pay our bills. I want to let you know, whoever you are that come across this video, you are not alone, girly. Like, it's gonna be okay. I created this channel for women like you, and I don't get a lot of views on my videos. I get views on stuff that's kind of trending and popular, but I'm not about that. I'm just a normal young lady trying to figure it out, and being the first to do everything in my family, spiritually, economically, and socially. It's just a lot of weight that comes with it. And I just want to take the time to applaud you, whoever you are, and know that the content that I'm producing is for you, because there is a lot to be said when you're trying to juggle the things in life, and you're trying to get the degrees, and you're trying to do things that people around you may have never done before, or they may have done it, but you're trying to do it for yourself. And it's just much more challenging than you thought. Know that you're not alone. And my prayer is that, through OCO, if you guys continue to support me, we can build community here where we can all learn and grow together. Before I close out this video, I want to give you guys a couple of tips that I hope and pray can be encouraging to you guys as you're navigating, whatever it is that you're dealing with right now in your finances, and just trying to figure out, how to maintain your faith while navigating whatever situation it is that you have going on. If you are picking up a side hustle, if you're door dashing, doing grocery deliveries, you got a part-time job, you're doing whatever you can to, maintain your bills and stuff, or if you have kids and you're trying to take care of your babies, celebrate those small wins. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's so easy to focus on your circumstances and, all the things that are wrong, but just take some time to give yourself a pat on the back, and know that I'm cheering you on, because it is so important to know that when you're doing the best that you can, that's all that you can do. Make sure you take the time to celebrate those small victories where, maybe you were able to, chip away at some debt that you have, or, you got a little more disposable income left at the end of the month than you thought. And you can put that money in a savings account, or, towards something that you want to do for yourself. The second thing is, make sure that you have a budget. Budgeting is so important. The Bible talks a lot about budgeting, especially in Proverbs. And so just making sure that you're still being wise with your finances. Don't fall into, I'm broke anyway, so I'm just going to blow the little money that I have. Like, no, actually discipline yourself so that you're able to, save. $10 can go a long way. Thinking about different areas where you can cut down costs if possible. I know that circumstances can be different for a lot of people, but just make sure that you stick to your budget so that you are able to, cut down on costs and pay off some debt. So, whatever it is that you need to do for your particular situation. The third point that I want to always drive home, especially if you are a Christian, if you're not, I pray you come to know Christ. But if you are, know that your faith is going to be the driving force for you. And this easier said than done. I think faith is one of the hardest things that you have to understand and navigate when you are trying to do things God's way. And sometimes God's way is the longer way. You don't get this get rich quick, scheme that a lot of these YouTubers and influencers and, people try to portray online. And some people do get those things, but most of us don't. Your journey is your journey, but just have faith and know that God is going to always be with you. You're going to have to learn how to stand on the word of God and really encourage yourself, and pray over yourself and just declare what you believe can be for your life. Being grateful, being prayerful, having faith, and budgeting are some practical things that you can do to just keep yourself encouraged, and check out, other resources and communities online, where you can actually just share how you're feeling with people, ask for prayer. I don't see this space for women that, not coming from a glitz and glamour lifestyle or a two-parent household, or just kind of the traditional upbringings that most people tend to come from. I did not have that upbringing, and so I'm actually fighting a lot of different battles spiritually, emotionally, and now socioeconomically, because there is no generational wealth in my family. And so I want to create this space for you guys, and there are other channels, I'm sure, that have a lot of just encouraging resources that you guys can just glean from and really just lean on each other so that we can walk and do life together. I just believe that, the best is yet to come for a lot of you guys. So keep your faith, stay positive, be practical, and, doing what you can do, and trust God to do the rest. So until next time, try to make the world a better place today.